Oh, man. So you don't have it, huh? Or you don't know because you can't get tested.
Right. Well, you don't have to be You don't have to be showing symptoms to have it.
Or pass it. Yeah, I know.
Yeah. You could have it for 12 or 13 days and not even know it.
And never even know it.
Some people had it and went away. They didn't even know they had it.
Yep. So it's an interesting thing. It's on the top of everyone's minds because it's a luck game, man.
Well, I'll be glad when it's gone. I just put it that way.
Because even if you're healthy,
oh yeah, it can get you.
Just enough.
It can get you
over that threshold and you're done.
Yeah, it's not just old people, it's anybody.
Yeah, but it's hitting old people harder.
Yeah, because they usually have health situations to begin with.
Well,
if you're over 70 years old, you've got almost certainly got something wrong with you. Almost certainly.
God damn, I can't put this hat on.
Hair getting too big?
Yeah, my hair's getting too big. I get that.
That's what my doctor said today.
Yeah?
He said, he told me, he said, there are people in their early 20s getting it.
Mm-hmm. Well, you can get it, yeah. Children don't get it normally, which is they find weird. But, yeah, it's definitely adults. And they think it's something to do with the way our immune system is compared to children.
Probably.
I heard this, because listened to a couple Waking Up podcasts, and he had two different experts on. And then I listened to the Rogan expert, the guy that was on Rogan, talk about it. So
yeah, I listened to that too.
There's alarm, obviously. There's going to be alarm. You need to be more wary of your surroundings and be more aware of who you're with.
Don't be grabbing and touching and all that kind of stuff. Just stay to yourself, basically.
Pretty much. Well,
even if you're going to be in public, try to be arm's length from people.
Yeah.
Which is kind of hard to do. But
I think it's all fine. I think it's all the way of the world.
He thinks it's all fine the way of the world.
Well, technically it is. This is how the world works. Viruses jump. They like to jump from being to being, or species to species, and they like to wreak havoc.
Listen to this. The guy that I was trimming for today, the guy I was telling you about, he came over to me while I was trimming. He said, I'm going to show you something that's going to blow your mind. Is it Dr. Kuhn? You may be able to look this up. I think it's Dr. Kuhn something. Wrote a book in 1981. He predicted all of this. He predicted all of this. He said it would happen in 2020. This is 1981 when he wrote the book.
He predicted what would happen?
The pandemic.
A virus?
Yes. And he predicted in 1981. He said it would happen in 2020. He said it would come from China. He said because China is working on all kinds of biological diseases.
I mean, yes, technically it could be from China's, like those warehouses. But I really, from what I've heard, it's natural. It's just a different version of the coronavirus. It's too hard for humans to do what nature does. That's the thing. For us to protect a virus like this that is only saying, like, again, now if you're a conspiracy theorist, if you're someone who's, saying really into that shit, yeah, technically they probably do have lethal viruses that they've designed they can use. That's fine. But this isn't a lethal virus. This is a regular cold virus that's a little bit different than every other cold virus.
Yeah, but any virus can be weaponized. That's what the guy said. He said, I don't care. He said the flu can be weaponized.
What the CDC does?
Anything can be weaponized.
CDC keeps all the diseases in the vault.
The flu was weaponized. Smallpox was weaponized years ago. 400 years ago it was used as a weapon. Commonly.
Yep.
You take your fucking smallpox people.
It wasn't even 400 years ago.
No, well,
because they pulled it on the Indians.
They put it on blankets. Which was like 400 years ago.
No. When they did it to the Indians, was it 400 years ago?
Yeah, it was like 1600s when they first came.
Okay, maybe you're right.
Yeah. Because it was 1619 when the slave trade started in America. Because the New York Times did a whole podcast series in the Daily, and it's 5 different episodes. Actually, it might be a whole podcast series about the start of the slave trade and how from 1619 on they show you the progression and tell you the history.
Yeah.
The real history, not the fucking
Not the fake
whitewash
history. Not the fake history. Oh, well.
They got free houses, so they were happy.
Yeah, right. They got free houses.
Mm-hmm.
Till you saw the house.
Yeah, the house that 7 people lived in. With 1 bedroom.
No, 1 room.
1 room, yeah.
It wasn't a 1 bedroom, 1 room.
No shower.
But then again, for hundreds and thousands of years, sleeping was communal. You'd sleep with
that.
20 people in a room.
Yeah.
No, but we're not talking about
we're
a
not
choice.
talking about, yeah,
we're talking about when something is put upon you, you have no other choices.
It'd be different if they get, like, now you have a choice to leave. You literally can leave. One of my best friends that passed away when I was young, he left when he was 10 years older than me, so he was in his 30s when I was in my 20s. And when he was 18, he left Michigan. But he was a good waiter. Like, he was really good at talking to people.
Personable person.
This dude was, of all the dudes in the world that I met, like, besides you, he's one of the few people I was like, yeah, you're not lying to me.
Yeah.
You're not lying about what you do. Because
I seen him telling the truth.
I seen him pick up a fucking 8. I'm not kidding you, an 8. And to me, at that time, she was a fucking 10. But now, in my mind, she's an 8.
How things change.
Picked her up at his fucking coffee shop in a bandana. We're talking a fucking old faded bandana, a red sweatshirt that had holes in it, and fucking chef pants. And he picked up a fucking 8. Took her on a date. They didn't hit it, obviously, but you know,
he accomplished something.
It was like, at that time, I was like,
how did that happen?
Yeah, I thought you had to be like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
In my mind, you have to be killing it, and he just had that swagger.
Some people got the gift of gab.
Yeah, but he died in a drunk driving accident.
Oh man, I saw a special on Channel 56 yesterday. I had to turn it off. It was so horrible.
What?
It was about Africa and the 6-Day War they had in Africa.
What 6-Day War?
These 2 countries. I'm trying to remember the name of the countries. They had a 6-Day War.
Okay.
And it was horrible. They were chopping people's arms and legs off.
Did you ever
setting people on fire?
Did you ever hear about General Butt Naked?
Yep.
That fucking dude.
Yep.
They did a special on him in Vice. The fact that he's walking around innocent, like walking around not in jail or not dead, just blows my mind. But it also shows you the level of forgiveness people have.
Yeah, it was the Butus and it was the Butus and another.
Oh, I think I know what you're talking about. It was 2 tribes. They didn't hate each other, and then all of a sudden they just hated each other.
They lived together for a long time.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden they just hate each other, and then someone came in and made them stop calling each other. Like, they had to get rid of the names. Like,
yeah, right.
They basically were like, you guys are no more of this, and you're no more of that, and then if anybody says that, they go to fucking jail. So basically they made them give up their gangs.
So they both... They made them give them up, but they didn't give them up. They ended up slaughtering each other.
Yeah.
For 6 days. It's the most horrible 6 days in history.
All because you think you hate someone.
It's crazy, man. Life is a bitch, and then you die.
That you barely even know. You probably never met him, never talked to him. Even if you did, you probably had normal conversations with him. But that's, I mean, that could happen here. You know that could happen.
It can happen anywhere.
I know it can happen anywhere. But I mean, we're like...
It would be harder for it to happen here, but it's not impossible.
No, and I think right now is going to be the test on whether it's going to happen. Because half this country believes Trump.
Oh, man, Trump lied big time yesterday.
I know. Half this Trump...
He said that they had all the testing stuff, and people were getting it, and everybody was cool.
Yeah, I know.
All lies.
No tests.
No tests. All lies. But like I said, the chickens are gonna come home to roost on you. Watch and see.
This might be the thing that actually changes
what
people.
happens.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think you're right.
Because there's too many times where he's literally said everything's gonna be okay, and it's just keep getting worse, and it keeps getting worse.
People aren't gonna believe that, but so far. I mean, or unless you're just super brainwashed.
Well, That's the thing. I was listening. It's amazing how they do it. Like, all right, so I flipped on Fox News today for the first time in. It's been a long time.
The last time I listened to Fox News was about 2 weeks ago.
Well, I have flipped on Tucker every once in a while, but as soon as he starts talking, I can't do it.
Yeah.
Because it's the same with CNN. If it's not actual news, if it's just them arguing over some stupid politics or something like that, and it's got 5, I shut it off instantly. I don't watch it because I don't give a fuck about your opinion.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the same with sports, man. That's all I used to watch in sports when I used to watch TV, like Sports Center stuff. Is like, why the fuck do I care about these people's opinions so much? It's just their opinion. They have no real idea what the outcome's going to be on these teams or these players. Some of them are better at guessing. You get what I'm saying? Like some are, but it's the same thing in politics. It's just literally one team versus the other team, and it's.
But the thing I've seen is really...
Hold on. So let me tell you what she did.
Okay, I'll go ahead.
So you had a Democrat and a Republican, and this guy was like, blah, 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 blah. The Democrats are blaming Trump, blah, 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 blah. What do you have to say to that? And he says, well, so on and so forth. I don't really think that. We'll work with Trump. If it takes doing what we have to do with this tax thing, we don't agree with the tax cut, because he wants to do another tax cut.
Yeah.
He doesn't agree with the tax cut. He goes, but if that's what it takes to get this done, then I think we would probably do it. And he goes, well, the Democrats say they're going to go across the aisle, blah, blah, blah. What do you say? So she says some negative shit about the whole situation, about Democrats. Then she goes into the positive and talks about the actual conversation and an actual speech that Nancy Pelosi had just given, and pointed out the things that she had said, which were very much, yeah, we're going to work together, we're going to figure this out, and even said, people are just going nuts on these people, but don't understand that these people are doing the work that needs to be done. They're trying. These aren't. It doesn't feel like politics.
It has got nothing to do with politics.
No, it doesn't feel like politics. Then, after she just says that, she goes into blaming Pelosi for being political. She finishes her whole conversation with the back to the talking.
A reverse, yeah.
Yeah, it's like, oh, you guys are fucking brilliant. You know what you're doing. You start with negative. You go to positive. You leave the positive out there for a second for them to hear it and say, we say it.
And you go back to the negative. And you leave with the negative.
Which wipes out that positive that you just said. And then, but we're fair and balanced. Yeah, you're fair and balanced in the sense you know how to manipulate people's minds. Because that's literally what that was. And I've literally heard psychotherapists and scientists talk about this phenomenon in people. There's tons and tons of papers on scientific research on why people do this, and I guarantee you that there's somebody at Fox News that has spent his time
researching that
and working the points in there to make sure that they always finish on negative points on the Democrats.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, but I don't. Then they'll say, well, the Democrats do the same thing about the Republicans.
But you
no,
know,
they just say the negative because there's no positives.
But you know what the difference? Well, I'll put it to you like this.
Just kidding. There's positives on some of the Republicans. Like, he's done some things. Like, I guess that travel thing that he did, we should give him credit for. He listened to the experts, and the experts were right. Well, as of right now, we're right. Because that's what the travel, stopping people from Europe, I guess that was the experts. There's some other things he didn't want to do that he did because they told him to do it, like letting the people off the cruise ship. He didn't want to let them off. He was going to keep them on there. He didn't want his numbers to go up. It was as simple as my numbers going up. It had nothing to do with the people dying.
Oh, my God.
That's the problem. At some point, he's going to realize that...
Well, you know, a week and a half ago...
It's not his fault. We don't blame him for the fucking virus. We're blaming him for being a dick about rolling out the actual things we need for the... Like, he doesn't want to... He wants to get tax cuts to his buddies again in a time of crisis instead of giving stimulus to the people who actually need it.
Exactly. And a week and a half ago, he called us a hoax.
Oh, yeah.
He said it was a hoax.
It was a hoax by the Democrats to fucking make him look bad.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like...
What a nutball.
And then they'll still do it. That's my point, though. 49% of this country still believes that. Still talks as if we're being too fucking...
I think it's slowly falling off, though. I
still see it on. I still see it on.
No, I see it, but I kind of feel it's kind of falling off a little bit because...
Well, you're right, because Fox News was very much about, like, this is an emergency, this is a problem, we need to figure out what's going on. The market's dropped another 2,000.
Oh, it's tanked.
They fucking tanked. They had to shut it down again. It's the first time they've had to do that in a fucking century.
Yeah, it tanked.
Holy
man.
shit!
And
it don't.
You
Really
know why I
affect
dropped?
us,
You know why I dropped? You know why I dropped? This
Yeah, the
morning?
planes.
Yeah,
Because no one's taking plane trips.
yeah. And Boeing is already in the doghouse because of that.
I was just talking. We're supposed to go to fucking Tennessee at the end of the month for a tattoo convention. What do you think the chances of them not canceling that?
Well, it might not be any flying or anything.
No, it's driving. We're driving.
Oh,
out.
driving.
But either way,
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, they might
it's
cancel.
a giant tattoo convention. You
Oh,
don't
yeah,
think they're
you're
gonna be
right.
like, yeah?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Because as soon as Tennessee doesn't have as many that many cases yet, but they start getting up into the 50, 60s, they're gonna start shutting down things too.
Yeah.
They canceled. Well, they postponed or canceled the whole Big Ten tournament.
Well, two of the experts said this morning that we're only 10 days behind Italy. So in 10 days, they said the whole United States is going to be shut down. You're not going to be able to leave the house.
That could be possible, yeah.
They said in 10 days. 7 to 10 days.
No, you're going to be able to leave the house. Italy's not China. Italy hasn't. They restrict. They put a what's it called? You're supposed to.
There's a town in Italy of 16 million people? No.
No, there's 16 million people in Italy.
Okay. It's a town in northern.
60. Look it up.
Yeah, look it up. There's some part of Italy where they completely shut it down.
Yes.
You cannot leave the house.
Because it's higher, yes.
Yeah, you can't leave the house.
But the rest of Italy, which is shut down, is just shut down voluntarily. It's voluntary. Stay home. All the businesses are closed. There's no reason for you to go to work. I still got to go to work. You think I can't? I mean, there's no one else there, so I'm not affecting anyone else. I'll just...
Yeah, so 16 million people...
60? Yeah, so
16 million under a lockdown.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot of motherfuckers, man.
This has never happened in your lifetime?
Not this bad. No.
Where they cancel the season or shut down a season?
Well, you got to remember something.
Dude, they
basketball and football and all those sports weren't as big back then as they are now. They were nowhere near the size they are now.
That's true.
They weren't making the money. They didn't have brand new stadiums. They were playing in college stadiums. You understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Now they're a big money making operation now. They probably pay out about $3 or $4 billion in just salaries.
Yeah, probably with all the salaries of the players.
For all the different people, players, trainers, maintenance people, people take care of the field.
Cuban's talking. He's going to give they're going to set up a plan for the regular people too, in his business.
That's good.
Yeah.
Because that's crazy what happened with the basketball dude, isn't it? What was that, yesterday or the day before yesterday? They were having a press conference, and he was in the press conference. And at the end of the press conference, he was making a joke about the virus. So he touched the phone, the table. He was doing all like that, and he ran out the room. 2 hours later, they told him he had the virus.
Yeah, that's why
And he'd been playing with other NBA players. A bunch of them got it.
I know. They've got 2 teams quarantined.
I mean,
didn't play a
realistically,
game.
he just has to be healthy, right?
No.
You
It
mean you
goes
just have
back
to
to the point. It depends on how much you're dosed in the beginning. If you get a normal dose in the beginning,
But
you're
if you've
healthy.
got a poor immune system, you're gonna get sicker. If you've got a
Possibly,
better
or you
immune
just have
system,
bad luck.
I was reading about it. They said people in their 30s have died, people in their 20s have
Yes.
died, people
It's
in their
just
40s have
the
But
died.
they
casualties
say
are
it's
higher
predominantly
older.
directed for obese people.
Obese people, people with bad immune systems, and people with bad lungs.
So, no matter what your age
So
is.
people who already don't take care of themselves are getting affected. I don't see how this is like horrible. It's kind of like getting your hand slapped when you're doing something wrong. It's nature's way of saying fuck you, get your life in order.
Really?
He cracks me up. He cracks me the fuck up.
Oh my god.
I love the way he sees things.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Well, all I can say is I hope none of us get the shit. Or if we do, it's mild and it's gone in a couple of days.
Like we don't even know we have it.
Yeah.
That's the only hope you can have.
Because I'm only coming here, double O's, and this other guy trimming and home. That's it. I'm not going anywhere else. I'm not going to no clubs. I'm not hanging out with groups of people.
I think I'm gonna smoke less with people.
I've been hanging out with.
In fact, the people in my band, we talked about it the other day. We're not going to share joints. Everybody has their own individual joint, at least for a little while, not forever.
Yeah, that's the thing. I'm thinking about not going. I'm not going to go to the meetings for a couple weeks.
Yeah, me too.
Just to be safe, because I don't want anything to happen to Lou.
Yeah, you're right about that.
But yeah, I don't know what this country's going to do when people are told. Because again, half the country thinks it's just a cold. They do.
I know.
So when you tell them, hey, you can't go to fucking work, or hey, you can't go to school, or hey, you can't do this, or you can't leave your fucking house.
Oh man, the guys with these sports stations, I was listening to one of the sports stations, see what you were talking about the NBA. And this guy's calling in talking about, why they do that? I still want to go to the games. It shouldn't affect the games. And the guy's saying, are you nuts? What are you talking about?
But
it's crazy, man.
Here's the thing. I feel like there's this whole, like, younger, like, I know these, I wouldn't want to call them dumb, but naive young kids that are the type of kids that they get sick and they're like, well, I can't afford to miss a day of work. My boss will get mad at me. I've got to pay my rent, blah blah blah, and they're just gonna
a lot.
They might know that they're sick or have the flu or have pink eye or whatever it might be, and they still go to fucking work in public.
Well, that's why they're gonna shut stuff down, because people do that.
Yeah, they're gonna make them not.
Because people don't think about other people.
They don't have a choice. They don't.
No,
they
you
don't
have a choice.
There's not a financial net. They're going to die of starvation.
They got a good point,
lose
because
their home.
when I went to work sick, there's a lot of times where if I'd have called, if I'd have called in, there's a good chance I probably would have been fired.
You didn't want to work there then. You shouldn't be working at a place like that.
It didn't have a
There's
fucking choice, dude. I'm
You
fucking
say
19 years old. I
Most
have
places
no
are
job.
like that.
Yeah.
Though.
That's the thing.
But I'm gonna tell you, honestly, any boss that would make you come to work sick, he doesn't care about his restaurant or his job. He doesn't care, because you can infect it.
They don't.
Because you can infect all his workers and nobody show up the next day.
AMC was one of the only places that I worked where if we saw somebody sick, we'd be like, all right, go home. And we would keep them punched in for the rest of their scheduled day because we sent them home.
Yeah.
And they have an end time, so.
I mean, yeah, you're not going to get most places to do that. Because they want to get that bottom line way up there. Remember, I worked for a place where I used to get 80-90% profits on every job we do, even after paying us. Like, everything was 90% profit, and it wasn't enough. Yeah. I should have been at 130.
I saw that too when I worked for that security company.
It's like, what the fuck are you talking about? I thought 90% was great.
And I looked at their books, and they wouldn't pay anybody over $15 an hour back then with security, right? And they wanted me to be in management. So I was in the office a lot by myself. They go out to do stuff. So I looked at the book. I was looking in the book, and I found out they were getting $60 a guard in the contract, and they were paying them $15.
Yeah.
So they were pocketing $45 an hour for everybody that worked.
Well,
and he had about 200 or 300 people.
Vehicle?
And he had 200 or 300 people working, man.
Were they driving vehicles though? Because then they'd have to take out.
No, they were doing
insurance
security. They would come to the gate in the morning, and I was assigned them a spot for security, and they would be there for 7 hours other than lunch. They didn't have to move. They didn't have to drive their car around. Just sit in their car. That's all they had to do, and just observe.
But they were in a vehicle.
Their vehicle, yeah.
Yeah, well then they had to insure each employee, so.
No.
There's workman's comp.
That's 1090. We were 1099.
Oh shit!
You had to have your own insurance. They wasn't insuring nothing. And I'm gonna tell you what happened.
Oh, so it was.
Let me tell you what
happened.
happened. Let me tell you what happened. One of the guys that I work with, he wanted to be a supervisor, so I quit, and he took my job, right? Which was cool with me. A few days later, somebody jumped over the fence and stole a vehicle. Somebody jumped over the fence, stole a vehicle, and ran over him.
What?
Yeah, almost killed him.
Damn, I saw some dude in, where was it? He was protesting somewhere, and he got, down in Venezuela. He got ran over by a fucking police train, or, a police, like a tank or whatever, one of those tanker things.
Oh, yeah,
He
yeah.
got ran over by one of them fucking things.
Ooh, he was crushed.
Oh, yeah, he had a fucking hole in his ass. It was literally.
That's fucked up.
Really fucked up.
You can't get too much more fucked up than that.
Well, he could have died.
He wasn't dead?
No, he didn't die. He lived.
That's more fucked
He's
up.
got a fucking
That's
colostomy
more
bag
fucked
now.
up.
That is more.
He got hit on the side first, and then he got ran over, and he hit a hole, like a chunk, like his butt had a hole in it, like that. On the side, on his butt cheek got crushed, and it exploded.
Mm-mm.
And he got ran over again.